I've actually had the privilege of going to M5 before, and I've not been to M7. What the hell, guys?
Hey, we'll show you love. Come on, right?
Okay.
Alright, we'll get it to you.
But it's exactly, guys, it's exactly what you think it is. It's not a studio, it's really a workshop. And there's not a huge crew, it's just a camera guy and a sound guy. And you guys are literally doing everything yourselves. I don't know if people really understand that. It's not like Man vs. Wild where there's someone off to the side, like, go over there and pretend you're alone. Like, you're You guys are it, though.
It's creepy having a reality show that actually films reality, isn't it?
Yeah. And you guys aren't any kind of Real Housewives, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, we've been, actually, just this year we started.
How quickly they turned.
Just this year, the last year, we've started to get a little bit of help behind the scenes. But yeah, pretty much everything for the past 7 years, we've built. If you see us built it, we built it. No gremlins built it behind the scenes.
And at this point, because I'm sure in the beginning it was just sort of like, well, just for budgetary reasons, we have to keep the crew small, see if the show works. Now I'm sure you guys can get whatever you want, but do you feel like it maintains the integrity of the show so that you do everything yourselves?
I personally feel like I just know that I'm going to build it faster. It's faster for me to build it than explain to someone how to build it.
Yeah.
I like working like that, and I have it in my mind. It's actually quite a leap for me to take something out of my mind and give it to somebody, because I like solving problems as I go. And, if you give it to someone, you got to solve them all for them before they start, or they've got to be really freaking good.
Yeah.
But there's a few times that I'd like to have a double for some of the stunts we do.
They're not stunts when you fall off something.
Thank you, I love you too.
Alright,
get over.
Ladies, he's available.
Oh, bless you.
Come to Comic-Con 2011, 300 women are like, meet your son, Tory! Oh no! Son! Oh my god.
It's getting hot here, isn't it?
Grant, you're probably the most famous robotics guy in the world right now. What does that feel like? I mean, you're going to school, you're engineering, you're now superstar robotics guy. This is so comic booky.
Craig Ferguson called me the Keith Richards of robotics. I'm not sure how to take that.
That might not be a compliment.
I think he meant it as a compliment. I'm going to take it as a compliment.
I think he meant you can't be killed by conventional means.
Well, there is that.
It might also mean that he doesn't understand everything you're saying.
So let's talk a little bit about the new season that's coming up. We saw some footage there. What can you tell us from the top?
There's a shot in there of the Porsche going backwards. So this is a myth that I remember being told a million years. Sorry, it's not a Porsche. It's a classic sports car.
It's a Porsche.
Thank you. I remember being told this back in the 80s that this model was more aerodynamically efficient backwards than forwards. And like a comedian knows the punchline, I know the punchline of this episode is this car going backwards at some impossible speed. So we actually managed to cut the body of this car off its chassis, flip it 180, and race it at 100 miles an hour. There's a shot of me slaloming backwards at 70 miles an hour, and everyone's like, their brains just can't hold this image. They're like, ah! It's great.
And what are you allowed to say? It looked like you were violently throwing up in the clip. Are you allowed to give any insight?
No, I think that's in my contract once a season. Pretty much. Yeah, we were actually testing cold feet. Do your feet actually drop in temperature if you're about to do something that you really dread or you're scared of? So I'm obviously dreading eating disgusting things. So the guys laid out a banquet of like chicken feet and guts and fish heads and live scorpions and hissing cockroaches. And
They almost threw up setting it up.
Yeah.
They did. They said, okay, pick 2 things and you have to eat them. Grant is terrified of spiders, so we dropped 25 tarantulas onto his head while it was encased in a box. And Tory's afraid of commitment, so we brought Tory doesn't like heights, so we put him in a stunt plane.
Wild hearts can't be broken, Tory. That's Has there ever been a moment where someone just bursts into tears and you're like, we can't show this on the channel?
No. The one that happens more often is we're all standing around. I don't know. We're about to throw shovelfuls of poo at a fan, or where an octopus is locked on my arm up to my neck, giving me hickeys, and we're thinking, what are we doing? Who is letting us throw 1,000 pounds of corn sweetener in the air to blow it up?
So,
Discovery Channel.
We'll start and go down the panel. Because I'm just guessing at one time or another someone's run up to me like, you know what myth you should bust? So have you ever heard one that you're like, that is an awesome idea, and then actually done it on the show?
Yeah, all the time. Actually, early on, I remember after the first season, we hadn't done Shark Week yet, and someone walked up to me in San Francisco, and they were like, you know what you should do? You should do that, like, if you punch a shark, it goes away. Like, you should get in the water with some sharks, and you should punch their faces and see if that works. And
You meant Mythbusters?
That's ridiculous. No one has ever been. 8 months later, we were in the water punching sharks. Jamie is in the water at the Stewart Cove, Dive Bahamas, sitting on a box of chum, punching everything that comes in.
So what do you, is part of the show, are you thinking about, because you're really advancing critical thinking in science, in my mind, and if I were a kid and had been able to grow up with the show, I feel like it would have had a tremendous influence on just like solving problems and logic. I mean, are you ever thinking about that in the back of your head? Because what you're doing is legitimately educational.
Actually, I would have to say not so much,
okay.
Because, what happens on the show and what makes it work is that we're just curious about stuff, and so we try to figure things out. And we, because we're curious enough, we're motivated, we want to be efficient at it, and that means being methodical and logical about it, and that sort of happens to be science, but we never set out to do science.
Who knew?
Yeah, it works, and of course, we're delighted that kids are, we've talked to people that are adults now that were little kids when they first started watching the show, and they picked careers in science because, or engineering or whatever, because of the show, and that's great. But we're like, okay.
There's a couple of, this girl walked up to me at the signing today and was like, I've been watching your show since I was a little girl and now I have a PhD. Wow, you've been watching since I had no white in my beard and my ankles didn't hurt.
Because really what they're just saying is, hey, you're old.